Hello. Recently I have started a video series devoted to the positions with the rook versus two minor pieces. And if you are expecting a new video on that, well, this time it wouldn't work. This time I'm starting a new topic. At the same time, please don't be disappointed. Of course, I would continue with that series. It just didn't receive a warm welcome so far, so to speak. So I would be just toying around with different topics to figure out what the viewers like most. And in this video, I'd like us to speak about the positional exchange sacrifice. Obviously, quite a lot of clock players would immediately think of the exchange sacrifice on c3 in the various Sicilian positions and would be right. That is one of the most common situations, I think, when the exchange sacrifice takes place. But now we would speak about a slightly different position. That's quite a standard Scheveningen position with colors reversed. And here white starts a pretty standard plan. He went rook to e1, after bishop to d7, bishop to f1. The idea being to push e4 at some point and put pressure on the pawn on e5. Black went knight c7, preventing the e4 break. But now the central pawns actually get hit in a slightly different way. White went knight b6, after rook d8. How did he continue? Please take your time and think a little bit. Indeed, white simply went queen to c5. The point being that after queen c5, rook c5, the pawn on e5 is hanging, and if say rook e8 now, and after knight c4, I think black has a tremendous number of problems with the pawn on e5. It's barely possible to save it, which is why here black preferred knight to e6. And here I'd like you to take your time and consider what would your next move be, and what are its consequences. Of course, as you could have guessed from the name of the video, rook takes e5 is exactly the move that white goes for. I think black should have actually tried to refrain from winning an exchange. Say king to g8 would have been a move. And for example, after knight d7, rook d7, rook e6, bishop b2, a4, white would have an extra pawn and decent chances to convert. It would be the case if black couldn't force a draw with king f7 because the rook is trapped. Rook h6 and now king g7, and there is a repetition. So white can instead, for instance, give up the pawn on a3, trying to play on. But, well, that would be another story, and the position would remain, I think, rather complicated and playable for black. White could have tried some other things too, of course, but the important thing is to study what happens after rook e5 if black accepts the sacrifice, which is exactly what he did in the game. White took into g8, and now Tigran Petrosyan simply protected his bishop with d4. The idea is that now all of white's pieces are active, the knight is able to come to c4 to d6, it stays on b6 pretty well though as well. The bishop's coming to c4, and I think that the white bishop simply dominates the position here. Black lacks any active ideas, and white's compensation for the exchange in form of a pawn, a bishop pair, and very active pieces is, in my opinion, more than sufficient. Here black went bishop to e8, and now I think white had a few possibilities. For example, bishop c4 was sensible with the following ballpark line: bishop to f7, bishop to f6, rook to d8, rook to e8, now knight to d7. And white would get his exchange back. And after something like knight takes d4, that's rather approximate once again. For example, bishop d3, knight b5 captures. White gets an exchange back and keeps a certain advantage thanks to his bishop pair and more active pieces. I think that is quite apparent. But white, Tigran Petrosyan, realized that his minor pieces aren't worse by any means than the black rooks, which is why he prefers to just keep improving his position step by step. He went knight to c4. After b5, the idea is to go knight a5 or knight to d6. Both are rather unpleasant ideas. Black went b5, knight to d6, bishop d7. My apologies, bishop d7. And now white, of course, simply activated his rook with such a little move as rook to c1. However, there are also additional ideas. What else could white do? What do you think? What are other interesting possibilities? I think all of a sudden the interesting idea that white had was to even play either h3 or f3. The point being that after f3 we just take more squares under control, and if black captures we want to go king f2 and then prepare rook to g1, just even playing for an attack of sorts. And as we can see, the black king is in quite serious danger, so black should refrain from capturing, but then white has all the time in the world to play king f2, king g3 for example, improve his king quite a bit, or maybe tackles the pawn with bishop to e2 and finally tries to force black to capture. That would have been another good choice, but white just preferred to go rook to c1, which in my opinion is very sensible and makes perfect sense. Knight to g5, knight to b7, rook to c8, bishop to d3. White just keeps improving his position. That is basically everything we need to say about his next moves. Rook 8, king f1, bishop e6. And now I would like to ask you whether you would capture his opponent c6 or not. And if yes, and if not, if no, then why? What are the reasons and the ideas, the thoughts that you have? Indeed, good for you if you have decided not to take the pawn. To be honest, this pawn is not that helpful and crucial at the moment. And after rook c6, black would simply get the c file for his rook, so let's say bishop d5, and if rook c7, then rook f7, for example. Or if the rook goes to b6, then there is a very unpleasant, unexpected idea to just play rook to b8 with either rook after captures, the knight is getting lost, and white is in dire straits. So, yeah, rook to c8 is another possibility, of course, if the rook simply retreats here. Well, the knight is hanging, what am I saying? Of course, black would simply capture. Sorry, it's been quite a busy day at work. So, here white didn't capture, there is no need for to do that immediately. Bishop to f4, knight f7, and now just king to e2, simply improving the position. The threat is to play f3 and open up the black king even more. Once again, after captures, the rook is coming to g1, which I think is just decisive. And here black had to take some measures, for instance. Actually, I would like to ask you how to defend. How would you play as black if you were to try to defend this position? Indeed, it is necessary to get out of this dangerous zone with the king, so king g7 and then king f6, protecting the pawn even better and preparing king e7, not blundering anything, is I think the most stubborn defense. However, black just went wrong immediately. He played bishop d5, and after bishop takes f5, he counted on a rather spectacular move knight to e5, which unfortunately doesn't work, because white simply captured it, rook f5, and now knight to d6. Rook f to f8, and now white simply advances e4. If the bishop went to e6, then rook c6 would of course now finish the game off. White just has too many pawns, already 3 pawns for the exchange with decisive threats. So black tried to sacrifice the bishop the pawn in such a way, intending to open up the files with a5. And this is the last position when you need to make a precise move as white and prevent any possible counterplays that black could hope for. How to continue as white here to win the game? I hope you have managed to find this. The crucial thing in such a position is to prevent the black rook from ever getting in, so say ba5, rook a5. Not only opens up the A file and makes his pawn a bit of a target, which could be protected easily though, but also opens up the B file. Well, the square is not attainable for the black rook at the moment, but rook b5 is a possibility. The rook can come to b8 later, so white should try to keep things closed, and the right move is of course bishop to d6, as simple as that. And after rook to e8, white simply went e5, takes, and now bishop takes b4. Black has simply no chances against the rolling white center, which is why he just decided to resign here. In my opinion, that's a rather impressive game. I would not say that this is something fantastic or incredibly impressive, because there have already been a lot of such examples, and Petrosian had already executed this idea in his previous games as well. But I think for any person who sees this for the first time, it should definitely be rather impressive, and I hope that you would be able to benefit from such an idea in your own games. Don't be afraid to sacrifice the exchange. And of course, since this is one of my favorite topics, I would make sure to prepare other videos devoted to this idea. And of course, I would like you to leave comments below the video, because this channel is not mine, this is your channel, I am making it for you guys. So please tell me, what do you like more? What are the topics you prefer, you're interested in? So that I would be able to prepare more materials for you. Thanks a lot for your attention.